non-stop rolling coverage on the US airstrikes on Venezuela, and in the latest that is just coming in, Russian Foreign Ministry has issued a statement strongly calling on the United States to release Maduro and his wife. This is the latest statement that is coming from the Russian Foreign Ministry that has condemned the US airstrikes on Venezuela, and now in the latest they have strongly called on the United States to release Maduro and his wife. Edward and Sandeep, who continue to stay with us on the broadcast. Edward, if I can bring this to you, do you see a possibility in this?
Do I see a possibility of the United States releasing Maduro? Absolutely not, no. And certainly not if President Putin is telling us to do it. That makes it even less likely. And nor should we. The United States is very much in favor of the rule of law, and the entire proposition of the United States, if you like, our purpose in the world and in world history is to propose that people and their property are governed by law, not by tyrants. And so I confess that there's perhaps some irony in my saying that, because it would appear that the United States may have broken international law in order to enforce its own domestic law. But ultimately, as an American citizen and as a citizen of the world, as I said before, I think it's a good thing that the United States can find and capture the bad guys. Now, the problem with that, of course, is exactly as you've just said, that morality is somewhat subjective. And the Russian president, Vladimir Putin, has a different view about who constitutes a good or a bad guy. And as I say before, tried to capture or kill Zelensky. So we are sort of taking the genie out of the bottle with this operation. But on balance, I think it's a good thing that the United States has the ability to remove dictators. And to be fair to President Trump, this was done in a effectively bloodless way on the United States side. And I'm sure that some civilians died in Venezuela, and I'm very sorry for it. But this does not constitute the sort of forever war or boots on the ground operation that we've seen in the past. And on that basis, I suspect that the American populace will broadly be in favor of this operation so far anyway.
Right. Sandeep, I'd quickly like to come to you on this, because there is no way that the US will take a step back. But how is the US possibly bracing for the implications of this move?
Well, the US is going to go ahead and do what it feels is right. And there's no way any other country in the world can tell the US what to do right now. And you have to give it that the US has always done what it believed was right in its national interests, and it has acted in its supreme national interests, and which is the extraction of President Maduro and the trial that will begin there very shortly in New York. The fact is that it is, of course, the strong do as they do, and the weak can't do anything but protest. That is, of course, one way of looking at it. Realpolitik, that's the word that Henry Kissinger was very fond of using. The fact is that there are very other few countries in the world that can actually effectively stop the US or do anything but protest. Russia, of course, has protested. China will also do the same, but there's nothing else anyone can really do. When the United States chooses to do what it does, in its own backyard, which it considers as, the Latin America, South America, all of that is seen as part of the US's sphere of influence. And this was articulated by President James Monroe 2 centuries ago. The Monroe Doctrine,
Right.
something that was articulated recently again